To the podcast, hablemos de lo nuevo. For the G's, by the G's, que pasa en el terreno. Vienen jugadores y se van, traiga lo nuevo. A huevo. Doesn't matter where you from. Salvador, Mexico, Honduras, Nicaragua. Todo mi latino, come and listen for an hour. TikTok, que traemos lo que quiere. Todo lo que pasa dentro y fuera de las redes. Really? You don't know what it is. Reportamos con la lupa what we see at the digs. En las buenas y en las malas yo diré la verdad. Si cometen un error o tienen habilidad, la calidad del rival cuando viene a jugar. Facts. Yo no me muerdo la lengua. Got love for the crest in the city I came from. Los campeones de campeones y con copas mi race. No me empezamos, empurgamos. Soy la voz de LA One. Soy la voz de LA One. Love. Yeah.
Hello, hola, and welcome back to another episode of La Cuna Galaxiana, a podcast always made with love for all you LA Galaxy fans out there, wherever you may be living on the champions. Thank you so much for being here with us again to talk about those wonderful champions. Today, we're going to be looking at the fallout from the LA Galaxy's trade of Dejan Joveljic to Sporting KC. Yes, I know some of you are still in mourning. It is tough times. It is sad fool hours. The deal that took him there was the first of its kind in the league, and we'll analyze just what the Galaxy got for the striker and if it was the right move. We'll also be joined by special guests Alex Sanabria from We Are Austin TV, who will be here to shed some light on their transfer window and help us break down a game preview for the Galaxy versus Austin on Wednesday, February 5th. Plus, Lucas, no, not Luca, but yes, we'll talk about him too, is now in LA and taking in the sights in his new city. All of that and more today. But before we get to Alex, let me introduce myself. Once again, I am one of your co-hosts, bringing you the best we can in Galaxy news and everything in Galaxylandia. I'm Rob Halone. You can find my written work at Extra Time Talk, and now you can find my byline as well at the Sporting Tribune. You can find me online at El Escudero de LA, and you can find my co-host right next to me as always, and Anandita Kirana. Diles, papa, where can they find you?
Just like the screen says, you can find me online at Ananda Galaxiana. As I always say, you can follow, block me, or stalk me. And of course, guys, you can find the show at La Cuna Galaxiana on all your favorite social outlets, as well as, of course, YouTube for those of you guys listening in the video version. Of course, for you guys also, we never really mentioned this, but we do have it available on audio. So if you listen to on Spotify and Apple, we are here, there, and everywhere. But, Papa, I feel like news. I feel like bombs have been dropping, stash bombs. What do you call them now? Shams bombs, since Woj isn't around anymore. Yeah. I mean, there has been just crazy news in this neck of the woods. But yeah, a lot to get to, man. But
LA is popping off.
I had the Grammys were yesterday as well. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. But man, just a lot of things going on. I had a very good sporting weekend. Of course, we smashed the Citizens 5-1. Be humble, stay humble, and there you go.
Well, congratulations to you. United lost to Crystal Palace 2-0. So, less said about that, the better. But what we will talk about really quick is all you lovely folks in chat. Thank you guys so much for being back with us, man. Y'all really are dirties, man. Y'all are ride or die. You guys are always here, and we love it. We appreciate you. And you're second in that LAX traffic. Damn, that's hardcore right there. Whoever you're taking, you must really love. But I mean, because that's the mark of love right there. But anyway, guys, thank you so much. We are almost to 450 subs. We are one away. 449. So if you know anybody that hasn't subscribed, make them 450. We are on the march to 500 before the season starts. So thank you guys for getting us in that striking position. Keep donating to wildfire relief effort, guys. Los Angeles isn't out of it. I mean, I was just saying a moment ago, Los Angeles is popping off. It's always going to be popping off, but people are still out there and hurting, man. So go ahead and remember them, including there's some G's in this community. So, go ahead and hook them up. Ooh, Papa says all horchata, no ice. I don't know about that one. I gotta have a lot of hielito in the horchata, unless you're trying to have. Oh, I get it. All horchata, no ice, all day, baby. There we go, all day. I'm a little slow on that one. But yes, I totally feel you. I saw the meme, and I saw the billboard, and I loved it. Guys, we did have the man Will Kuntz on the other day. The man that's causing you guys all this heartache, or just like these Galaxy players, man, they just keep on leaving, right? So, man, yes, Will Kuntz is the man who's in charge of the transfer responsibilities here for the Galaxy. We did have him on the other day. He gave us an inside look into what the Galaxy is facing. He kind of gave us a heads up if we had been listening very closely on just how soon another Galaxy favorite was on his way out. My co-host, El Gitano Perdido, was on the Designated Players podcast earlier tonight. So go ahead and check that one out when it drops, guys. Go ahead and support that homie. And then speaking of homies, we have the homie Marvin G on with us on Thursday, February 6th. He'll be at the CVI taking in all. And so he's going to be back with us, giving us his impressions on what he thought of the CVI. Plus, also, that this man, been shooting Los Angeles sports and Los Angeles music scene for a long time too. So yeah, he'll be here with us on Thursday. And now, without further ado, let's get into those shout outs and announcements. We're going to zip through them because we have a very special guest hoy día. So
Pero papá.
Oh, man, you got me. Oh,
Pero papá.
You got me.
¿Sabes qué pasa?
Dale. Yes.
Porque como siempre,
sí,
antes nos olvidamos, ¿no?
Uh-huh.
Buenos días, tardes o noches. Bienvenidos a otro capítulo de La Cuna Galaxiana, temporada número 3. Y no estamos cancelados. Estamos aquí.
Yeah, just like mi gente, estamos aquí. We are here, and we are not going to get canceled.
J Balvin, mi gente? Damn. All right.
That's giving on to a beer or two and throw on that J Balvin. You'll see the Gitano move for sure. Guys, if you haven't seen MLS Cup yet, the Galaxy's championship trophy. The trophy is on tour at the moment. On 2/4, it'll be at the LA Golf Club for a watch party there from 5:30 p.m. till close. You know what? I wish I could tell you what time close was, but let's just assume that you'll be safe if you get there by like 9ish, right? On 2/5, they're going to be taking the trophy down to Arroz and Fun. That's a dope name, Rice and Fun. From 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. that same day, that evening, they'll be taking it to the LA Kings game starting at 5 p.m. So if you haven't checked out the trophy yet, go ahead, and this is your chance to do it. So celebrate that trophy. Also, we are now in full celebration of Black History Month. Let's celebrate the accomplishments of our Black community here in Los Angeles and G's in our history, like the great Eduardo del Tanco Hurtado, Robin Frazier, the Dos Santos brothers, and of course, the man who's about to get his trophy, Kobe Jones. So go ahead.
La statue.
Oh yeah, I said trophy, huh? Yeah, statue.
And we do got 6 of them, so I don't blame you.
Yeah, I've just got statue. I got trophies on the brain, right? But speaking of having trophies on the brain,
hey, Clippers fans, just you could skip this part.
Yeah, Clippers fans, I'm really sorry about it. Anand and I are, someone said that he's biggest gooner in the room. We're also huge Laker fans on this pod, so you guys can go ahead and tune out for the next 3 or 4 minutes. Welcome to Los Angeles. Luka Doncic on Saturday. Unless you were living under a rock, the craziest trade in NBA.
The internet broke.
Unless the internet broke, the craziest trade in NBA recent history broke. On Saturday, the Lakers, Mavs, and Jazz completed a 3-team trade that sent Luka to Los Angeles and the Brow AD to Dallas. So that means no more Anthony Davis in Dallas, or in Los Angeles. He's on his way to Dallas. That one kind of hurts, but the Lakers received a generational player in Doncic, and he's only 25. They also received Max Kleber, and Markieff Morris is on his way back to Los Angeles from the Mavs. Dallas, they acquired Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and the 2029 first-round pick from the Lakers. And this was a 3-team trade, so the Jazz got involved to help facilitate this one. They received Jalen Hood-Schifino and the Clippers 2025 second-round pick, as well as the Mavs 2025 second-round selection. This is huge, guys, because the Lakers, who seemingly had no plan of succession after LeBron, now has the face of their franchise for the future. So if you're a Laker fan, life is good. If you're a fan of any other team in the NBA, you're like, what the F? Like, how did that even happen? But big ups.
If you're a Mavs fan, Godspeed.
Oh man. The homie, or my cousin did tell me that his homie had named his son Luka in honor of Luka, because they live in the Dallas area, and now it's just like a reminder of just like Luka being gone. Good luck to the kid. Anyway, thank you to Anthony Davis. He spent 6 seasons in Los Angeles. He's a 10-time NBA All-Star, 5-time All-NBA selection, and he won a title in 2020 with the Lakers. So, you know, there's once a G, always a G, once a Laker, always a Laker. AD, thank you so much for all you did while you were here. And of course, that brings to mind that LA really truly is the city of international stars. I mean, if you are LA born and bred, I mean, this is the kind of moments you live for. Or even if you've been here for a while, these are the moments you're like, man, my adopted city is popping off. I mean, it stars everywhere, up to and including the Dodgers, Lakers, Galaxy, the Kings. Even the Sparks are popping off, bringing in Kelsey Plum. Shout out to the Sparks as well. So, man, it's a great time to be a Los Angeles sports fan. Hopefully, Luka brings a title to the Lakers. And, since we are talking trophies, we got to talk about this man, Big Dot, coming up with a clean sweep. Nominated for 5. He took home 5. He completed the Infinity Gauntlet. This man was Thanos. Had people singing A minor on Fools, like, in international press and internationally televised. But what was great about Dot's like performances and like, speech and everything on it is that, man, he made sure to thank all of Los Angeles. He mentioned Pacoima, he mentioned Compton. I mean, he mentioned so many cities that other people would have you believe aren't even really Los Angeles, right? So I mean, this is K Dot coming out here, and like we've said before on this pod, LA is all of LA. It's not just a certain part of the city. It is the entire fabric of Los Angeles, from Hawthorne to Watts, from Compton to Glendale, from Pasadena to Altadena. Shout out Altadena. Man, K Dot just put it in perspective, and I love that he said that he did it for his city, and his awards were for the city. So maybe Ansa shouted at the IE, man. I mean, like he did his thing, man. I love it. So congratulations to Luka, congratulations to Kendrick. Man, it's exciting time to be in Angelino. Moving on. Now we will bring you some Galaxy news. Clipper fans, you can come back now. LA Galaxy is the 8th most expensive team in CONCACAF, and I believe the way they do this one is by composition of their playing staff, right? So I believe Ricky's valued at somewhere around 20-ish. Joseph Painsel's valued at around somewhere around like 10. Gabriel Pecky, last time I checked, he was valued at somewhere around 14 or 15. So it totally makes sense that it could be up to 63 mil. But anyway, they are number 8 in CONCACAF, los equipos más caros de la liga. Didn't mention the unbreakable one, JP. Happy birthday to him. He turned 27 a couple of days ago. He, of course, had the opening goal in MLS Cup. He had 14 and 11 in all competitions in 2024. May 2025 be as lovely to him as 2024 was. And may he drop a little more music, man. I'm fiending for that music, man. Represent Southgate, Downey, Southgate, Little Sinaloa. I love it. Glendora, man. keep sounding off. Keep sounding off, LA. I love it. Anyway, El Arquitecto Verbal, if you guys were with us at the top of the show, you guys heard that theme music. The man who dropped it, the man who birthed it, sired it, was Arquitecto Verbal. He is dropping his vinyl. You can pre-order that now. Limited edition on this guy, so don't sleep. Only 50 copies available when he goes and he's able to get those out when all those orders are in. He will get those out to you as soon as possible. Shout out to Arquitecto for the fire music. And man, just to illustrate how talented this G's community is, we have the homie Mayo's Bruce's book, Bruce Martin, titled "This Is Where My Heart Lies," and this is a look into Galaxy supporterdom through the eyes of a true supporter. Man, this guy is in the stands taking these shots. Sometimes, and he's told us, sometimes like I haven't seen the match because I'm taking photos. So this is his contribution to the G's community and his labor of love. Please go ahead and pick it up. This one goes for $60. It's 121 pages, 165 photos of just pure Galaxy love. Show him a little love. Pre-orders close in a couple days on 2/7, so make sure and get those ordered up, guys. And then, of course, like I said, there is so much talent in this community, so much so that we are back with another blue, white, and gold pop-up. The Llanos and 1-2 Threads have another one going on here for you guys on March 2nd at Common Space Brewery from 12 to 5. This is pet-friendly. This is free. This is all ages. Take the family out, especially because the G's match away to Vancouver will be shown as a viewing party at that event. So again, some of your favorites will be there: Moving Silence, Sadio Sisters, Galaxy Art Fire, Code Red Rugs, The Pot Lady, FUA USA, King Kong Creations, Clamps Wood Designs, Deviants, Custom Designs, Luis Vela, shout out Luis Vela Arte, Miggy Smalls, Galaxy Goons, League Villains, Crafty Nurse, and then all your Galaxy supporter groups will be out there: Angel City Brigade, Galaxy Outlaws, Galaxians, Riot Squad, and of course you'll have Chef Bibi Mendoza out there serving the chucos, real nice, hamburgers, nice, and then DJ AD. Guys, get out to this one. It's going to be awesome. And we mentioned those supporter groups. ACB's memberships are now live. Go ahead and pick those up. If you've ever wanted to be part of a supporter group, now's the time. It's going to be a special season. You definitely want to be in there with your fellow G's when they're presenting the rings, putting up the banner and stuff like that. So go ahead and get your ACB membership. Galaxian memberships are also live as well. Go ahead and pick up your Galaxian members. This is the first supporter group in Galaxy history, guys, so go ahead and pick that one up. $30 includes the 30th anniversary t-shirt and pin, discounts on home game tickets, and other perks throughout the season. But when they mean perks, they mean like first access to games like El Tráfico and Nanda. This really does behoove you to be being a supporter group if you are not. So go ahead and hit up Galaxians if you need any more information on their socials. Still more on supporter groups, guys. LA Riot Squad, they are having their State of the Squad this Friday at their First Fridays event. Of course, for those of you guys not in the know, every first Friday of the month, Riot Squad gets together and throws an event for all fellow G's that want to come out there. This Friday, they'll be at Hermosa Brewing Company in Torrance at 7 p.m. So that's 2/7 at Hermosa Brewing for the first Fridays, and then State of the Squad for Riot Squad. And the supporter group talk wouldn't be complete, Ananda, if we didn't mention our homies, El Primo from Comets. They are doing their carpool year 2, and that'll be on Saturday, February 15th, for the last Galaxy match of the CVI against Chicago. That match starts at 10, so obviously you guys got to get in the van really early, but I'm sure since this one is sponsored by Crown and Hops, I'm sure there's going to be libations to keep you going. Hit up Comets for more info. DM to RSVP comments. I'm assuming you can go ahead and go to their socials and you should be okay. And then finally, this one, damn it, I've been fiending on this one really hard. I know you said you didn't like the new away jersey too much, but I mean, I personally love it. Again, huge Laker fan, so Gabriel Pecky's modeling this fine jacket here, but this is reversible, and God damn it, if I'm not gonna sport that purple one all day, every day, if I pick up on this jacket. So guys, go ahead and pick up the new LA Galaxy Anthem jacket, and it's reversible, man. Like, you're getting 2 jackets in one. So you know, it's kind of worth it, I think, Ananda. You know, hopefully we find a pot of gold soon, and we can go ahead and pick that up.
Really quick, and I will be there for sure this Sunday and TBD on next Saturday, but for sure this Sunday, man. So come out and say hi, and we'll be around too for the Corner of the Galaxy live show as well.
Yes, we will. And speaking of the Corner of the Galaxy live show, for those of you guys that didn't know, the Podfather Josh is going to be doing a live show on February 9th at the CVI. So go ahead and make sure and stick around and support the Podfather. He's the original, man. He's the OG. So go ahead and get out there and show him some love on 2/9 at the CVI. Answer your question, and I'm going to be there, I believe, 3 out of the 4 days, I believe. I'm not sure if I'm making it to that midweek game next week, but I'll be there on Wednesday, be there on Sunday, be there next Saturday. So hope to run into you guys. And, yeah, I mean, hopefully we can give out a couple of slaps to you guys as well. So without further ado, let's get into some Galaxy talk. Yeah, man. So, Nanda, I promised that we would talk about Luka. We did. But now we got to talk about Lucas. ¿Estás listo para hablar de Kiko?
El otro Sanabria, porque ya vamos a tener otro Sanabria hoy, papá, esta noche.
Yeah, we're about to have another Sanabria on here in a second. But we're talking about not Luka Doncic, but Lucas Sanabria. He was pictured at the digs, and he's been pictured sightseeing all around Los Angeles. He was at the Hollywood sign, and you know he's been doing the recent arrival thing to Los Angeles, which I love, because once he beds into the team, he's probably not going to have time to do that. So I mentioned at the top of the show, guys, that my byline now is now in the Sporting Tribune. So I've joined up with that incredible team. Again, if you're a Lakers fan, you know all about Arash Markazi and his coverage of the Lakers. His publication is called the Sporting Tribune. I'm just lucky enough to somehow grab onto that team, and they've welcomed me with open arms. So if you haven't caught it, I just dropped my first article for them on Lucas Sanabria and how he almost quit soccer before the 2024 season. Quick, without too many spoilers for you, before the Galaxy signed this man about 12 months ago, maybe even 12 and a half months ago, this man was considering quitting the sport that he loved. I'm not going to ruin it for you. Read the article, but yeah, that's all I got to say. The Galaxy almost lost out on this player because he almost quit football altogether. But one of the things that I loved about this article, about doing this article, is that I found out so much about the character of the player. And this man's 21, right? And I keep referring to him as a man because I firmly believe that he is not your typical 21-year-old. He is a man through and through. Through my research, I found out that he's a tremendously hard worker. And not only that, but he's a good and responsible man. So that kind of feeds into the whole thing that Will Kuntz and Greg Vanney always talk about. We don't want just good players. We want good men here as well. So it's great to see Lucas Sanabria here in Los Angeles. Oh, now it's sadful hours, Ananda. Unfortunately, as one arrives, one departs. Dejan Joveljic completed his move away from the Galaxy. And last time you were with us, we were telling you about this imminent deal to Tigres in Mexico. The next day, the stash bomb broke that it was no longer Tigres, but he would be moving in the league to Sporting Kansas City via the first cash for player trade in MLS history. He moved for $4 million, and now Dejan is officially a Sporting Kansas City player. Seeing him in that blue, it is jarring, is all I got to say. He showed a lot of love to Galaxy fans and his Galaxy family, and everybody was wishing him luck, and he said, thank you so much for everything. Somebody said, just don't score on us. He said he can't promise that. He, Murphy's Law means that he probably will score on the Galaxy because that's what he does. Last year, he had 21 goals and 7 assists in 33 appearances. And then in the playoffs, he was Mr. Lights Out, 6 goals and 2 assists in the MLS Cup run, including the game-winning goals in the Western Conference Final and MLS Cup. He says, in 2021, I came to the U.S. for the first time and had big goals. I joined the most historic team in MLS, damn right, and I wanted to play and score in every match. I had to wait a little longer than I would have liked, but I finally showed everyone what my game is about, scoring goals and doing anything and everything for the team to win. I'd like to thank the incredible Galaxy fans for making my 4 years at the club so memorable. A special mention goes out to my teammates, the coaching, equipment, training, and medical staff, and the front office for being with me every step of the way. I'm grateful to have played for the LA Galaxy and helped the club win its 6th MLS Cup. Champions will meet again one day. I'll be seeing everyone soon, but just in different colors. Whew. Yeah, like I said, this one kind of hurts.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we have a neutral to bounce this off because it's sad Foo hours right now.
Yeah, man. So we're going to bring our guest on now. He's going to be here to help us talk on that Austin and Galaxy game preview. But he's also going to give us his thoughts on the deal as a totally neutral person that covers the league and a guy that knows a thing or two about big name strikers moving this window. So now we are joined by El Primo Alex Sanabria, lead writer from We Are Austin TV. Welcome to the show, Alex. ¿Cómo estás?
Hey, again. Thank you. Thank you for having me. A pleasure to be here, guys.
Bienvenidos, man.
Yeah, for real, man. And it's great seeing you again. I mean, we met just briefly when we were in Austin a couple months back after one of the only Galaxy losses of the season, really. And they played so dirty in that match. But you guys were amazing hosts. So thank you so much for receiving us there in Austin so beautifully, man. We were just talking about that Dejan deal, man, and Dejan to SKC, and we would really like to hear your thoughts on this one, right? Because you are a neutral, right? For us, even though I cover the team, and I'm supposed to be neutral. Yes, there are some feelings involved, right? But for you, what's your take on this deal? It's the first ever cash trade, $4 million. The Galaxy send Dejan to a conference. Not rival, but like an opponent in the conference. What do you make of this one?
Well, I mean, I was also surprised. I think everyone was. But the way I was explained to was that it made sense because of the roster designations, right? So, like he would grow out of a homegrown deal, or so it was only necessary for the Galaxy to do it. I think it was the only move that you could make. It's not something that you want to do, but it's something that you have to do. And I mean, with all of the big pieces that the Galaxy has right now, I don't think it was that hard of a choice, considering you're not going to do anything to Ricky Puig, right? You just got Roy, so you're. It was one of the few movable pieces that you had to make.
Yeah, unfortunately, you used the keyword movable, and we mentioned one of the pioneers of Galaxy podcasting earlier, Josh Kessman, and he had been kind of alluding to the fact that it would be really hard for the Galaxy to keep Dejan, and it finally came to pass. We're going to talk a little bit more about Dejan here, Alex, but por favor, para los que no saben, déjanos saber a dónde te pueden encontrar, what those socials are, when We Are Austin TV gets together, and when you guys stream.
Yeah, of course. So you can follow us at We Are Austin TV in any social media platform at We Are Austin TV. We cover absolutely, everything about Austin FC, anything that has to do with Austin FC. Hey, even ex Austin FC player Diego Fagundes winning the league with y'all. We had him on the podcast. We interviewed him 3 weeks ago. So you definitely follow us in every social media platform that you want. And me personally, everything that I do for We Are Austin TV. But you can also follow me at Alex WAATV.
And then I did see on your socials that you can also get a little bit of Venezuela coverage on your socials as well.
Yeah, that's right. Thankfully, I am Venezuelan, so I do get to cover a little bit of Venezuela. I'm more interested in that. But for instance, in Copa America, we got credentials and we got to cover Copa America in all of Texas, all 8 games that happened in Texas. We
Nice.
were there. I was there, covering the U.S., covering Bolivia, Mexico, Colombia, Ecuador, Argentina. So any major news, just soccer in general, we're glad to be able to cover it.
Well, I do got to let you know, I was at Venezuela, Ecuador, in the Bay Area, and that was a tough loss. But
Yeah.
Venezuela played really, really well, and all I can say is, Enner, porque eres menso. Anyway, but anyway, we're gonna keep it moving here, guys. You guys know where to find Alex and We're Awesome TV now. Make sure and show them support. I mean, guys, they really are boots on the ground. Not just Alex, but the homie Hernan. The entire crew over there.
Yeah.
They are intimately tapped in to what Austin is doing. They're breaking stories, and if you want to know anything and everything that's going on with Austin, they are the folks to get to. Back to Dejan, guys. Ananda, we talked about it a little bit, but now that you have had a couple days to marinate, where's your head at regarding Dejan?
Man, it's one of those things where could we have avoided the situation? And unfortunately, all the moves that we've made thus far, Rob, it seems like they have been math problems. And unfortunately, this one is kind of a yes and no, in that it was a math problem, but it was a future math problem in terms of salary, right? What Alex was saying about his designation, I mean, there's reports coming out, Robert, and I'm sure you can substantiate them as well, that he wanted DP money, right? He wanted that type of salary. And under the current structure, we've already got 3 DP slots filled, so there was no way we could have filled that, right? And this is coming into the last year of his deal. So again, it's one of those things where you either get something for him now or you absolutely get nothing. And we see this a lot. I mean, look at the deal that just happened in the NBA, right? There's a lot of these deals that happen because you're in that sort of contract situation. And unfortunately, the Galaxy in this particular case were casualties of that. But all the math aside, we're losing a heck of a player, Rob. We're losing a big game player, the unofficial LAFC killer, right? Always scores goals in big games. He scored in the Western Conference Final. He scored in the MLS Cup. So to find a replacement now, looking forward, looking ahead, I think Will Kuntz has a big task on his hands. Am I confident that he'll bring in someone, an able and willing replacement? I think I am confident just based off of his track record, but this is going to be a big task for Will Kuntz and the FO to replace this, because you don't replace that type of goal production, especially in big games, I don't think overnight. Granted, we do have a really good supply with the likes of Joseph Paintsel and Gabriel Peck on the wings, right?
Alex, were you surprised by the price tag at all? I mean, Dejan was valued at around 6-ish on transfer market. He goes for $4 million, the first cash trade in the league. Did you think it was enough? Did you think, were you surprised maybe by how little it was, or quote unquote little it was?
I wasn't really surprised, because even though it was a cash trade and the first in the league, I still kind of saw it as GAM. And we know that GAM does not really translate to real world money.
Yeah.
So, it's always a little bit less because it's more valuable. So I don't know. It's, it's one of those weird MLS rules. So I wasn't surprised, because I think that if you look at it in GAM value, it's one of the highest that you can get for him, right? So I know it's not GAM, it's cash, but it's MLS cash. So I think it was a fair enough value for him.
I'm totally gonna hit my landlord up with, hey, I have GAM to pay my rent this month, and see how that goes. So one of the things, and we pulled receipts on ourselves earlier in the previous pods, Alex, maybe like a month ago, about a pod we did preseason in 2024, in which we were talking about Dejan and maybe some predictions about him, and we found that our ideas of what he would do, or even our perception of him, is dramatically different now than it was then. As a neutral, and I'll give you a little more context. Back in the day, I went on record and foolishly said that I did not think he would be here for the entire 2024 season, that he would leave at some point. And then Preston Judd would be the main striker, who actually went to San Jose. So I got that one totally wrong. But what was your perception like of him? I mean, for you, was he always that big name striker, and he was just kind of like waiting to emerge, or were you kind of surprised by his emergence for the Galaxy and being that big game player that scored in the Western Conference Final and the finals?
So the thing for me, or the way that I look at the Galaxy, is that besides Ricky Puig, who came out to be this huge player in the league, what surprised me about the Galaxy winning the league title is that it won as a full team. It wasn't necessarily a name, again, beyond Ricky Puig, and even then, Ricky Puig was really well connected to his teammates. So if you're asking me like about him, like if I thought he was going to be a big name, no. But if I like when I looked at the Galaxy during the season and when winning the league and all that, it was like that it was an important name for the Galaxy. It's like it was one of those teams, one of those rosters where essentially everyone was important and everyone was key to winning the league, right? It wasn't necessarily one big star player. So I think I would take it as that. I think you guys were really, I don't want to say lucky, like in a bad way. Like, I want to say like you guys were lucky to have such a great player in a U22 designation that came out to be this big, that came out to be like this great for y'all. That doesn't really always happen. You always look at the DPs. You don't look at these type of players to be like this key. And you guys were you guys were really lucky to have such a player within your lines like that.
Yes, Ananda?
Oh, no. Well, I was going to say, I think what'll be interesting is the proof in the pudding over the next year or so, right? So meaning, was Dejan's production a byproduct of the system and the great players that he was surrounded by? Or is he actually a really, really good striker? We're going to see the fruits of that over the next couple of years. And so I think TBD, and we're going to have to look at this in hindsight, right, to fully evaluate this.
Alex, this is not the first big name in Galaxy Lania that is left. El MVP de la Copa, Gaston Brugman, el Charrúa, se fue al comienzo del window del mercado de pases. Después se fue Marky Delgado, después se fue Jalen Neal, y ahora también tenemos a Dejan Joveljic. Is maybe that fear factor gone now from the Galaxy? I mean, they were on a roll in 2024. I mean, they were reestablishing themselves, right, to being that preeminent MLS club that everyone both hated and feared. And if you're a Galaxy fan, you loved. But with these 4 huge departures, what does that do for maybe perception from around the league, or maybe just from an Austinite's perspective?
Yeah, so the way I see it, I will also add in there that you also lost Push for what can be half of the season, maybe.
Yep.
More.
Yep.
So the way I see it, I mean, yeah, it looks like a weekend LAFC to start the season. And especially, like I said, like with these teams that are so well put together with different key elements, not just one big player, all of these departures and injuries really can hit the team badly. I mean, the Galaxy can easily go from MLS champions to 10th place. But the thing with MLS is that it's so unpredictable. Even like if you watch some other leagues worldwide, you know that MLS is special in its unpredictability, right? So I think that odds are that the Galaxy is going to take a hit right now. I think that maybe the coach proves himself to be, a mastermind and be able to keep a level high enough for you to be proud of that, despite all of your departures and Ricky Puig's injuries. But I think it's more than likely that we'll be able to see a Galaxy that is going to be fighting on, I don't want to say 10th place, but on the lower side comparing to being first in MLS last year.
Not a tremendously hot take, to be honest. Ananda and I have spoken on that and how difficult it's going to be to weather the storm, especially with fixture condition and playing the Leagues Cup and playing in the Champions League. They are just a bad injury away from another key producer to being down bad. We do have a question from the homie Marvin in chat. Which one of the biggest departures is the biggest heartbreak for fans? So chat, go ahead and let us know. Me personally, y'all know I love Jalen Neal. So I mean, maybe he wasn't the biggest contributor on the field, but emotionally, that one's the biggest heartbreak for me. Ananda?
Yeah, I'd have to say, even taking the emotional side out of it, I think just it was his age and the fact that I thought he was going to be the future center back of this team, right? Like everyone, not everyone, but a big portion of the fan base thought, you had two aging center backs, and then you have Furcranis and Neal to supplant that, right, for the sort of next generation. But things don't always operate that way. It's a business, etc. I mean, Studio has a really good question too, which is, this is more of a hindsight question, but would Joveljic moving have broken so many hearts if we hadn't won the league? I think that's an interesting one. I probably just based off of production and the goals that he scored, yes. Even if we had lost that MLS Cup final, right, Rob? But I mean, I think that accentuated the heartbreak even more. So I think yes, but the fact that he won MLS Cup too, I think that takes it up a level.
The homie GCam, I believe, was eating his Sabio pills because he has very good wisdom for
very
any
astute point.
Yeah, very, for any soccer fan. Says, moral of the story: don't get attached to players. We are a selling league coupled with crazy salary rules, which makes everybody expendable. But this is the part that rings absolutely true for me, and this is why the tag is El Escudero de LA, because you got to love the crest above all, man. Love the crest, love the badge, love the colors, appreciate the players, but everyone leaves. No one is bigger than the badge. No one is bigger than the team. No one is bigger than the colors. So y'all got to remember that. And that's why usually I don't get names on my jerseys, because it's just one bad moment away from a player being gone, a la Jimmy Butler in Heatland, so so love the badge, but and appreciate the players, like GCam said. But guys, let's go ahead and wrap it up here with Dejan. Obviously, Alex, Dejan leaves a huge hole. Now the Galaxy have Miguel Berry at the 9, with maybe Ruben Ramos Jr. backing him up. I firmly believe that Will Kuntz has a plan there. But first off, the serious question here: do you want to let us have Brandon Vasquez for a couple donuts? And no, just playing. But yeah, what do you think they need to do? I mean, do you think they need to go in and get a big name striker to fill that void, or maybe they can go ahead and unearth another U22 talent? And then, depending on either one, you got to replace those 22 goals by Dejan. What would you say is an acceptable number for a replacement in his first year for the Galaxy?
Well, I know a pretty good name known to you guys, big MLS name, that's free right now, and that's Yes Sardes.
Oh, Hawthorne!
Shout out.
No, I mean, I think you should try to. Well, season is about to start, so I don't know how viable that is. Because the thing is, since you're already going to take a sort of a big hit, at least this very first half of the season, right, with all of the departures and then Ricky Bu's injury. If anything, I say try to just have a solid team, a solid system that can get can get you to the summer alive, and then in the summer try and get for another more capable player. To me, that's a formula that for MLS works, as long as you don't go terribly wrong. And in a league where the 9th place qualifies for playoffs, I think that's a formula for you to be extremely hopeful that things can get better in the summer and onwards.
So if you were Will Kuntz, you would ride it out to summer and then go ahead and make a move then?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Ananda, what about you? What do you think? Big name, U22, or are you going to follow GM Alex's lead and go ahead and ride it out to summer and pray you can stay above water?
Look, history shows us that we can unearth a U22 gem just like Dejan Joveljic, and I think now the cycle repeats, and I think that's where we got to go. Rob, as well as most, having that most of your roster intact, minus one piece like a Marco Reus type of piece to get you over the top and to, like Alex said, survive that summer and then put that run in the last 10 games into the season, into the playoffs. So I think a U22, man, Will Kuntz has, like I said many a time on the show, he has hit on every one of his signings, guys. Just put that in perspective. He has hit on every one of his signings, which is absolutely ridiculous. So there's no reason for me to question their talent ID, him and Gordon Clushton and the team. So yeah, I'd love to see U22. Look, the reality is that U20, whoever the striker is, they're going to get really good service. So like I said, all you got to do is get your butt in that 6-yard box, and you're going to be feasting all day with Joseph Paintsill and Gabriel Peck feeding you the ball.
Like I said, I'll do it for a couple pupusas. Don't even gotta pay me a lot. I'm gonna be feasting, like you said. I'll be feasting on pupusas and goals, but maybe when we're at the CVI, I'll go ahead and ask Vanny if he wants to throw me in for one of the games. But speaking of the CVI, Alex, that's one of the reasons we wanted to have you here tonight, because the Galaxy's first match of the CVI is against Austin, a new look Austin here. A lot of stuff has been going down there in Austin. So is this the most excited you've been for a season since you've been covering the team?
I have to say yes. Yeah, definitely. This is the most, not even me covering the team. This is just the most hyped, agitated transfer window that Austin has had, I think. I mean, we're talking about a window where maybe not all 3 DPs, but 2 DPs came in, and in a period of 8 months, we got 3 new DPs off the bat.
Right.
Then we also got, a familiar face that I'm sure you guys know, but in the rival side, in Ilya Sanchez,
Yeah.
LAFC ex-captain and one of the best defensive midfielders the league has had in the last couple of years. And then you also find yourself signing 20-year-old kids from Argentina that were a highlight this season. And so you're just signing U22s, you're signing 3 DPs, you're signing a good midfield. Austin went through a turnover this transfer window that we have yet to see, if it will pay off. One DP has not gotten here waiting on his visa. That's Mirtu Zuni. But he's a player that has been scoring double-digit goals for 3 seasons in Spain in first and second division. So that's a player that should have no problem translating or trespassing those goals from Spain to MLS, right? And then also another center midfielder from Europe in Sabovic, who also hasn't gotten here yet. And so I'm very excited about this season. I'm very excited to see what this team can do, what Rodolfo Borrell, the sporting director, is trying to build with this team. Because we were told about that a lot of players a lot of names that we wouldn't believe wanted to go to Austin, and most of these players you actually don't know. Those are the names that you have to Google
Right.
first. But when you look at the curriculum, they actually seem well, and they seem like they can fit next to each other in this puzzle that the roster is. So we're all excited to see what Nico Esteves can do with all of these new brand pieces.
Who's the driving force behind this? Like in Galaxylandia, right? Everyone says, Will Kuntz is the chef. He's the one cooking and putting everything together. But who's the man over there in Austin, in Tejas, that's the driving force and basically putting all this together?
Yeah, so that's Rodolfo Borrell. He's the sporting director. He was Pep Guardiola's right hand man. He's ex-City, ex-Liverpool. He's ex-Barcelona. Actually, he coached Messi in the academy. So he's very very experienced in Europe, coming from Barcelona, Liverpool, and City, now to Austin, Texas. But more so the role of signings, he has that connection in Europe. His scouting team has been great. You guys said that your signings have all paid off. So far, Rodo's signings have also paid off. Not in a big boom. But you can definitely say, like, you cannot say anything wrong about the signings that he's made in 2024. And with this 2025 season coming up, I think we can expect more of the same.
You mentioned a little bit earlier that you guys were with one of the current Galaxy players, Dieguito Fagundes, whose family lives there in Austin still, and we had the chance to meet, the pleasure to meet. Awesome people. Obviously that was massive. I mean, we would love to have Diego on the show. Dieguito, vení. But yeah, I mean, he has lost my many invitations so far. I don't know what's going on. But you guys had him there. We see you guys there sitting with them. First, what was that like? And then what's been your favorite moment since you guys have been doing We Are Austin TV?
So having Diego was amazing. I mean, he's a great person to talk to. He's very natural, very, you can have a conversation casually with him, and it's great. And he loves the city of Austin. He became big in Austin because he would share a lot of moments with the fan base. And I mean, at the end of the day, his family is still there, so he still has a lot of love for that city. Obviously, he's loving his time in the Galaxy. He's loving his time with the team. But he became a sort of player to look up to in the culture of the city of Austin, not just in the club. So having him was definitely great. And when it comes to my favorite moments, working with War Austin TV, I gotta say, Austin FC has given me a lot of great moments, but nothing. I think nothing compares to covering Copa America.
Right.
I think Copa America was it was just amazing to watch, to like be in the middle of all of the Colombians against Paraguay in Houston, or the Argentinians against Ecuador in Houston as well. The Venezuela match against Jamaica at Q2 here in Austin was the loudest I've ever heard. I mean, you guys know that Austin FC has a good reputation being, a very tough atmosphere in MLS.
Really
That
fun.
was nothing compared to what you could hear at Q2 from the Venezuelan fans against Jamaica. So I mean, the Copa America was just a great experience that I'm very happy to have being able to cover.
No, I'm with you on that one. I mean, yo también fue la primera vez que tuve la oportunidad de cubrir Ecuador. So, since it was my first time, and you won't know this about me, Alex, but obviously Chat does, Ananda does. I'm a big crier. So, I heard the El Himno, and, I started crying, and then, I got to see my dad and my mom right next to me, and their faces full of emotion, and my wife just going crazy because she's Ecuadorian too. And man, like I just lost it. I couldn't keep it together. Beautiful moment. So I'm right there with you, man. It's definitely up there on my list of special moments. So
No, man, I gotta say, I'm
sharing
like, even I'm with you, because I'm the opposite. I'm not a crier at all. I'm very tough to cry. But in that Venezuela match, when hearing the national anthem, man, I lost it. No, it was a very special moment to be able to hear your national anthem with so many people, more than 20,000 people at the same time. It was great.
Oh man, and we said earlier, mi gente, estamos aquí, no nos vamos. So let's talk about we just talked about Diego, and obviously that was tough to lose him, right? So it got me thinking about, if you look at this Galaxy roster, if and I'm not gonna give you one player though. I'm gonna take Ricky off of this list, right? But if you were looking at this Galaxy roster and you could take any one player and bring him to Austin, who would it be?
I don't know, man, because we're a bit stacked right now. If I'm honest, it's hard for me to answer, because like if I think offensively, I mean, we just got Brandon Vasquez. We got Mirtu Suni. It's and our other DP is Bukari, who is
Right.
from Ghana national team. So and we have yet to see them. So I don't know if they're good, or they're better or worse than what you guys have. I mean, obviously the easy answer is Ricky Puig. Who wouldn't want to have that player setting up pieces and building all of the chances, offensive chances for the team, right? So yeah, I don't know. Honestly, just because we know already what it looks like, I might say Diego Fagundes, because we know what he's capable of, and because we know he will fit really, really well in this city. So yeah, I would go with him.
I seem to remember reading somewhere that he said he wanted to finish his career in Austin, but I could be wrong on that.
No, yeah, it was in our podcast actually.
Hmm.
He said that he
Okay.
sees himself eventually, going back to Austin. That he would like to come back at some point and probably to retire at Austin FC.
That'd be good if he could, retire around family. Anandita, you had
Yeah.
something to add?
No, I was gonna ask Alex because I probably would have said Ricky Puig, but only because I feel like of the hole in the number 10 position that you found yourselves in with the departure of Sebastian Driussi, right? So
Save that one because we will get there. We will
yeah,
get.
yeah. I wanted to kind of get to some of the roster things. But anyway, so ask it now or save it.
Save it. We will get to Sebas.
Okay.
But that's basically the big departure there for Austin. But a lot of incoming players, like you said, even Galaxy was linked with Sabovic at one point, right? So since there's been a kind of a crazy transfer window, you kind of already explained, who's come in, who's come out, and what these players can do. But were you surprised at all by the ambition that the ownership was showing? Impressed, or like you said, since you haven't seen these players kind of line up together yet, does it remain to be seen?
I guess I'm surprised that it all went down this transfer window. The way we have seen Rodolfo do his own thing is that he's added a few players here and there over the course of 2-3 transfer windows, but it's also because Austin had a really bad record of just giving out horrible contracts to players. So when Rodolfo came in here, he kind of he had to take care of that first before getting new players in with better contracts, right? So that's why he took a little bit longer. But then out of nowhere, you get all of these players in this transfer window, and in a winter transfer window, which is also surprising because
Right.
most amazing or the most stellar transfers happen during the summer because of the European calendar, right? So to have all of this happen, this transfer window was very surprising. I don't think I'm surprised in the ambition. I may be surprised at the fact that again, just one transfer window we've spent, or no, one transfer window in 8 months, we've spent over $30 million in our transfer. So that is surprising to me.
Precourt dropping dime out there in Austin, man.
Yeah.
Which of the deals do you think is the most important? Obviously, the easy answer there is Brandon Vasquez. He's got the pedigree. He's been Mexico and stuff like that. But you also mentioned Uzuni, who's in double-digit goals. So for you, which of these deals, and it doesn't even have to be those. You mentioned some other incomings. Which is the most important?
To me, Uzuni is more important over Brandon Vasquez. Because for one, again, if you're scoring double digits in Spain in first and second division, you really, really shouldn't have a problem scoring them in MLS. And second of all, he has an attitude of he's just hungry. The first thing he said about when we signed him was, I want to be there to break records. So he's already thinking about what Driussi did and about erasing that from history. He's thinking about giving us a reason to be excited about his signing. He's talking about being great in Austin, and he hasn't even set foot on the country yet. So I think Zuni is the big key, and also if the team was willing to go out there and pay a 12 million release clause on him to get him in when he's a player that was playing in Spain's second division at the moment, I think he has something that we're not seeing. No, we're not seeing that. We haven't seen, but that Rodolfo definitely saw and wants to make it work at Austin.
Now you have Brandon Vasquez, Bukhari, and Uzuni, who I'm presuming will be the front three. Correct me if I'm wrong if that's not the way you're seeing it. But does that make them among the most dangerous forward lines in MLS?
Well, we still have to see how they get along, how Nico Esteves manages that front three line, and how what his tactics are, what his ideas are. But that should be the front three that that they should play, and that's and I think we should expect for them to be one of the most dangerous tridents in MLS right now. You got Brendan Vasquez, who was already stellar with Cincinnati. You got again Mirtu Zuni, who was great in Spain, and then you have Bukari, who came for last year but didn't really have a chance. But he is one of the fastest guys in the world of soccer. He was one of the fastest in Champions League when he was playing for the Red Star Belgrade, and he's now here and he's winning 1v1. So if Nico can get them to work together in have great chemistry, they should be fatal in MLS.
Alex, are all those players in yet? Except for I think Ozuni, right? He's not, but Vasquez is already training with you guys, and Ilya.
Yeah, so Ilya and Vasquez are already training. Uzuni and Sabovic are not in the States yet. They're waiting on their visas. And Nico Dubarsarski, the 20-year-old U22 Argentinian CDM, his first week of training was last week. So he only has 1 week under his belt. We had a friendly against Louisville City FC on Saturday. He did not play at all. So I don't know if he will be, with the team incorporated playing against the Galaxy in Coachella or at any game in Coachella. But yeah, that's about it for new signings.
And Anita, you did bring up that hole in that number 10 position. Dale. I know you've been chomping at the bit for this one.
Well, no, I was going to say, I mean, that's a huge hole, but I'm interested to hear from your perspective, Alex. And then also, because you and Hernan and the guys at We Are Austin, you guys do a really good job with keeping a pulse with the fans, right? So what's the reaction been like with his departure? Do you feel like it's more seen as a huge loss and a negative, or maybe it's a blessing in disguise in that you needed to turn to the next chapter in your franchise's history?
I think his departure, first of all, got tainted with a bad soap opera with the way that he left. Essentially, like, fans just felt like he didn't want to play for the badge, or he wasn't motivated, and he just wanted to go back to his beloved River Plate. So fans were hurt. So I think that's one reason of why maybe it wasn't taken as a big loss, because fans felt like he just didn't care. Nevertheless, I will say that we saw a player that was an MVP caliber in 2022, and we saw someone every match. I would say every match he is so talented. He was extremely talented. You could tell that he had that something that not every player has, and he could create something out of nothing. The thing is that Austin FC as a whole in 2023 and 2024 was bad as a team, was horrible. There was no creation, there were no scoring chances. So if you have a team that doesn't create, and you have a team that doesn't finish, and you have a team that is stuck with just one idea of attacking that is not working, it doesn't matter if you have a great player in Juicy, it's not going to do anything. So I believe that under right circumstances, better circumstances, Juicy could have gotten back to his level in 2022. But by the time that maybe was going to be possible, River Plate came knocking down the door, and Juicy absolutely loves his boyhood club. So there was no stopping that. So I think it was a big loss in what could have been. But then you replace him with Mirtu Zuni, which again, I've said several times, the type of numbers that he's coming with. So I think that when you pair him and Brendan Vasquez and Bukari, I think we can see another type of attack that can be good, or actually even better, because you wouldn't depend just on Driussi. You would depend on three different guys that can score out of nowhere.
So Ananda talked about this hole at the 10. Are you seeing it that way, or are you seeing maybe Nico playing a different kind of system, and where the classic 10 isn't so needed? Are you seeing that as a whole, or is that a point of concern for you about the roster?
No, so the thing is that it's always sad to not play with a 10, because number 10s are fun. Number 10s are the guy that you're looking up to when they want to create, when they want to make something out of nowhere. Like, it's fun to play as a 10. The thing, it's not easy to find 10s anymore in worldwide, not just MLS. So the fact that Juicy left, even Juicy wasn't really a classic number 10, right? But so the thing is, you don't have to play with a 10. And I think
Right.
that with the signings that Austin FC has made, we are not going to play with a 10. There's no player really that has those characteristics. But when you have two extremely capable wingers, one very well proven striker, and one of your wingers in Zuni has been playing as a center forward for Granada for 3 seasons and has done wonders. I think goal scoring shouldn't be a problem no matter how it happens. So I think that going back to a three midfielder system where no one is a 10, but you obviously have some people contributing to the creation, should be enough to have that trident, that offensive trident, to be able to work well enough.
What should Galaxy fans expect to see out of Austin on Wednesday at the first game? Or do you think you'll see a strong starting 11, and then maybe some of the depth pieces, some of the academy pieces for Austin take over, or maybe a mix of both from the outset? What do you think? We'll see.
It's hard to tell because in the couple of games that we've had in preseason, it has always been mixed teams, and first half team is completely different from the second half team, and they are very mixed, very very mixed. I'm talking about having trialists or having the players that we got from the draft, or having players from Austin FC2, taking on those spots. We've never really played in this preseason so far with a full, starting what could be starting 11 team. And it's hard to tell if they are ready for that for Coachella. If they want to do that in Coachella, or if they're going to take Coachella, slow and just see what happens, right? It's also hard because we don't know Nico Esteves well enough yet. He's also a new piece. Nico Esteves is also a new coach that we haven't seen in official action yet. So it's hard to predict exactly what Austin FC will do. If they want to take this game seriously and go, full out, definitely expect Brendan Vasquez as a striker. Definitely expect Jader Obrian in the left wing, and Bukhari on the right wing. Expect Dani Pereira and Ilya Sanchez, maybe with Owen Wolf playing in the midfield. The defense and the defense will be the same. Stuber obviously would be on goal. So that's the strongest that we can have against the Galaxy if they can gets played in a serious way.
That's a strong team right there, man.
It is,
man. They've got a strong team. Rob, I mean, you just asked Alex what he expects from Austin, but what do we expect from our team? What do we expect from the Galaxy? What are you hearing, or what are you thinking?
When we spoke to Will the other day at Media Day and Greg, I mean, they made it evident is that they're going to be looking at some of these depth players and some of these academy players and some of these homegrown players that just got signed to come through. They did say, some of these players they want to look at and kind of gauge where they're at. Some of these players they're looking to make the next step, like Harbor Miller. But yeah, I would be very surprised if you got a full strength Galaxy side. I don't think you're going to see a full starting 11. Neither do they have a full starting 11 even in yet. You don't have new signing Lucas Sanabria in. I don't know how long Gabby Peck has been in country, long enough to go ahead and shoot some promotional spots for the jacket, but I don't know how long he's been training. So no, I wouldn't say you're going to see a full strength Galaxy side. I would venture to say it's going to be mixed. So Alex, we're going to put you on the spot. Since it is preseason, we'd ask you, give us a game prediction. How do you think this one's going to end up? But it's preseason, so no one gives a damn, right? Everyone just wants to see these players get out there and go through the paces and hopefully not get hurt. So with everything that went down in the transfer window, I'm going to ask you, and maybe we'll pull up receipts on you a little bit later, but your prediction for the season for Austin is, with everything that's gone down, is Austin now an MLS Cup contender?
Well, with all of the pieces that we got, all of the signings, Austin definitely has a team to more than compete. They should do very, very well. All of the weight now is on Nico Esteves' shoulders. All of the responsibility is on him right now. If he's able to put all of those pieces together, make them work, and be as efficient as they should be on paper. So I want to say Austin FC definitely, no doubt, makes the playoffs, unlike 2023 and 2024. Um, I don't know if we are strong enough in matters of tactics to be top four in the conference. I don't know, but I can definitely at the very least say that we should be able to make the playoffs. And I'm not talking about ninth place or eighth place, even seventh. I can see a sixth, fifth, hopefully fourth. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, Nanda.
I was going to say, it sounds like us beginning of last year, Alex, when, at that time, even we didn't have a fully developed roster like Austin FC right now at this point in the season. And the other thing is Studio brought up a really good point here, Rob. I just started this comment, but just about he asked the question, but I mean, he brings up a point that San Jose strengthened, Seattle strengthened. I mean, remember, guys, Minnesota is still a growing team. I mean, they had a very, very good team last year.
Very well
SKC just picked up Joveljic, and with underneath their coaching, I mean, look, basically all the bad teams can be very good this year, and all the good teams can be very bad. That's just the way MLS works. This is the point that Alex is making earlier, but. It's funny. I was just like, when I listened to Alex's take, I was like, this is exactly the position that we were in, Rob, last year. And
we didn't know.
To his point, there's a lot of things that need to go right. Like your signing needs to hit and they need to produce, but it is the coaching, it is the system, it is the character and the drive of these players. Like, how badly do they really want it, and buy-in, right, in locker room, and all the soft stuff that you two get to see, because you get to see, in the press conferences and the locker room, you get that vibe from the team. So, if there is the it factor in those locker rooms, because as we've seen, Rob, covering the 2024 LA Galaxy, that is a huge factor in winning championships.
We're going to go ahead and give the last question for Alex to Pottermus there in chat. He says, Alex, do Austin intend to keep the black and green stripes?
I think they won't. I think they won't. There was quite an incident here in Austin. A food Instagrammer put up a story with what looked like to be the new Austin FC jersey. And so, no, it didn't look like the black stripes. It was just stripes, but of different shapes of green, of verde. So, I don't think they'll keep the stripes for this season.
Potamus, there you go, man. And we want to say thank you very, very much to Alex Sanabria, who joined us here tonight, giving us an idea on everything Austin. Shout out to the We Are Austin boys, and shout out to Hernan. Man, thank you so much for being here with us. Can you please remind us one more time where the folks can find you and where they can find We Are Austin TV?
Yeah, of course. So every social media platform, including YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, just look up at We Are Austin TV for the coverage that we do of everything about Austin. And the podcast can be found at also We're Austin TV or Top Flight Podcast on YouTube. And me personally, again, everything that I do is for We're Austin TV, but you can find me at Alex WAA TV.
There it is, LA Galaxy fans. We will be seeing Austin on Wednesday at the CVI in the first match of the CVI for the LA Galaxy. Alex, might we be seeing you there as well?
I don't think so. We tried. We really tried. We wanted to be there to go to California, but it wasn't possible at this time.
Well, when you do make it out here, we'll take you out for some In-N-Out for sure. And man, it's going to be great catching up when we do finally see each other. But chat, please go ahead and show some love to Alex and the We Are Austin TV boys. They're doing great work out there. And reminder, that game is only 2 days away now. It was a short off season, and at the same time, it's been forever since the Galaxy have played. So I know everybody is feeling really, really hard to go ahead and get back some soccer in their life. First game of the CVI, like I mentioned, is on Wednesday, February 5th. LA Galaxy versus a new look Austin team. We're back on Thursday, guys. So we're back to messing up your Thursday nights. So on Thursday, February 6th, we'll be on with the homie Marvin G. He'll be here to talk about his experiences shooting the vibrant LA sports and music scene and his impressions on the CVI tournament. Full disclosure, he will be my road dog for Wednesday, so we're gonna have a bunch of anecdotes and stories and perhaps even some inside jokes. Alex, muchísimas gracias por estar con nosotros, papá. Open invitation. Come back whenever you would like. Hopefully we see you again when the Galaxy and Austin play each other.
No, thank you. Thank you for inviting me again. It's a pleasure to be here. It's great to see you again. I mean, I know that day when we met y'all at Q2 Stadium didn't go that well for y'all, but it's always great to meet all of the people around MLS. I absolutely love it. So thank you for having me.
Well, you guys were amazing and made the loss bearable by being really nice people, meeting Diego's family. And then I've said this before, the Austinites in the stadium are some of the nicest people in the league. I mean, that's not putting you on at all. I've told that on this pod bunches of times. I was going around and people were like, "Hey, welcome to the stadium." I was like, "What the?" Like, I just wasn't used to this is LA, so people walk around here and you come at them like that, they're like, what? ¿Qué le pasó este? Right? So thank you so much to the Austin fans for receiving us so well. Guys, thank you so much for being here with us. From Ananda and I, and from Alex, thank you for taking in this game preview. We do hope to see you back on Thursday where we'll break down what happened in that match. Until we meet again, I think there's only one thing left to say. LA strong, y'all. Vamos campeones. And G